First, congratulations to Harvard on a fantastic season. Bill Decker's been a really good friend of mine and a competitor for a long time, and I knew they were going to give us a battle today. And that's one of the reasons that we took out our starter when we did, 'cause out of respect for their offense and the way they can come back and the way that I knew that they were going to fight. So I didn't want to mess around and went right to Kirsten when Wang faltered. Would have been nice to not have to do that, but I just felt like it was time to make that move. And Jeffrey Kirsten will be available, tomorrow or Monday or whenever we need him. I thought Joe Simeone did a really nice job eating some innings for us and throwing outs, throwing strikes. And then Kenny House was excellent last 2 innings, so relatively painless in the last 2 innings. The first few innings were not painless, but our offense did a really good job. These guys to my right, the 8 and 9 hole, really came through for us, and Thad hasn't played in a while and came off the bench, gave us a great offensive effort. When he gets on base, he tends to score too. He's a really good base runner, and Chris has been swinging the bat really well. So he's kind of a secret weapon down in the 9 hole, and these guys did a nice job and survive and advance. It's on to tomorrow.
Chris, can you kind of take us through in that second inning when, they thought maybe they struck you out and then you had that other chance and were able to hit that single that, kind of catalyzed the offense there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to have a good at bat. I'm not trying to let that inning die. I'm trying to get something go in that inning. And he threw a good pitch just off, and then luckily I was in a situation to make something out of it.
Coach, can you talk about your thoughts behind putting that into the lineup today?
Yeah, we've had a little luck the last quarter of the year, last fifth of the year, kind of rolling the dice and going with gut feel on guys that we've inserted, and some of it has been just because we had to. We didn't have certain guys available, whether it be due to injury or absence, and plugged certain guys in. Michael Chiavitti gave us a lift in the last couple weeks. Paul Gazzo's given us a lift in the last couple weeks. David Langer at times has given us a lift, but I think we finally figured out how to use our bench, and I'm a slow learner, but I just had a hunch. I told David Langer before the game today, I said, listen, you didn't do anything wrong. You actually gave us really good at-bats, and you've played good defense. I just feel like it's Thad's day today. And he said, I'll be ready to go. And I said, I don't know if he can move because his ankle has been acting up a little bit, but so you got to be ready. And he said, I'll be ready from pitch number 1. But Thad did a heck of a job. He was more than ready. The ankle looked pretty good to me.
Thad, this is the second straight game that UConn's been able to rack up a lot of hits. What do you think makes you guys such a good hitting team?
It's just our approach when we go up to the plate. We know that we can't get too big. You have to take what they give you. You can't just make something happen out of nothing. So a lot of things that we've been focusing on is just staying short, hitting the ball hard. If it's an out, it's an out. But as long as you hit it hard, that's a success.
Coach, you talk about the mental toughness Jeff showed getting out of the bases loaded in the second and third inning.
Yeah, that was the double play when he inherits a mess there with the bases loaded, and we had a really terrible inning after we went up big. Well, not big, but 4-1 yesterday, and we gave it right back, and it had that feeling it was going to get away from us right there. And he came in. He's got a slow heartbeat, and it was a really big, really nice turn too by our middle. To get out of that inning, that was big. I mean, that's kind of we hit into a couple of those yesterday that were backbreakers, and that was an early backbreaker for them. But he was, he was steady today, and again, he's going to give up contact. Occasionally, he's going to hit a guy. He's going to miss off the edges, and you just can't panic because he doesn't. So there's no reason for me to. I felt like he was in command for the most part, and he knows that he's got to conserve and get back out there potentially tomorrow or the next day. And I did think, on Thad's point, I thought the offense did a really good job adjusting to their pitchers. The lefty looked like he was going to give us fits after they had more of a power guy to start, and then some guys showed the way. Anthony Prado had an opposite field base hit. Somebody else had an opposite field base hit in there. I know Michael Woodworth hit a ball hard to the middle of the field. There was Christian Fedko. This guy had one off the next guy. So he's right. We took our singles and didn't try to do too much with the baseball.
Jim, how did the rain delay affect you guys, if at all? And for you guys, what do you do for 3 hours once you're warmed up like that?
For me, I mean, I almost dozed off. To be honest with you, it's like we were watching the Army game, and there wasn't much excitement in that one, and and there wasn't much going on in the clubhouse, so it was a quiet time. And you just try to, you don't want to get too amped up. You kind of let the administrators do their jobs and the weathermen do their jobs. And I knew that they were going to give us plenty of time to warm up. So there's no sense in panicking and walking down to the dugout and checking the skies. And that's one of the good things about being the first game. We didn't want to play the first game today, but knowing that it's harder for the second game, not knowing when the heck they're going to have to leave the hotel. We were already here. We knew we were going to play at some point, so it wasn't that big a deal. And these guys are great at adjusting with weather. This is nothing. It wasn't going to snow today, so it wasn't that big a deal.
What do you guys do for 3 hours?
Yeah, you want to doze off maybe a little bit during 3 hours, but you can't do that. So we watched some baseball in the clubhouse, flew around, just play some games. We played cards for a little bit, but nothing. Just made sure that we were ready to go when they said it was all clear.
They all want to eat. It's more than 20 minutes with nothing to do. They're all asking about eating.
To the concession stand.
Yeah, everybody's always hungry. So.
Did you guys, did you all take a flight out here with the Harbor baseball team?
We did. Yeah, we were fortunate enough to partner up. The NCAA was going to have a tough time getting us here commercially, and we partnered up and got it done. Thankfully, I don't think we both could have done it independently, but combining forces, we were able to get out here together.
What was it like for you guys? Did you get to know their players much?
I knew a couple beforehand from being from the Northeast, and a couple of our guys knew a couple of their players, but it was fine. It was fine. They're good guys. We're good guys, so it worked out.
Do you know if they wait around for you guys now, or
If what?
Tuesday?
do they wait to charter again with you?
Wait till Tuesday.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I doubt it.
yeah.
They're probably not going to want to wait till Tuesday.
Coach, you were fortunate enough, they had to scratch their starter. You were fortunate enough to catch Jimmy before he got hot. How fortunate is it that you
Yeah,
were able to-
that was an added benefit, Ian. You're right. Their guy, I think, had a little shoulder issue not too long ago, and they were probably going to be conservative with him. I would guess that Bill would be pretty short with him today. I don't think he was expecting him to go 9 innings, but kind of similar to us, we were going to go see what we could get out of Jimmy. But in his situation, it was much easier. So we had a benefit there, I think. Not the way that Jimmy pitched ultimately, but he didn't have to go through like a 50-minute routine. He did kind of a reliever's routine and really didn't get off the mound much at all when we told him to sit down. That's another advantage to being the visitors in that situation. The home guy's got to get hot a lot sooner, and he had to do a lot more work. So we asked the administration or the grounds guys and the NCAA site rep to just please let us know at 12 to 15, not at 1. And it just didn't work out. And we know weather can change quickly here. So they did the best they could. But, our starter didn't get burned. Theirs did.